Hello there, this is a quick update video for the Mech. I know there hasn't been one of these in quite a while, but that is because getting all the systems working at the same time is a pain in the butt to power, so I keep on having to go down to Toshi Station and pick up some power converters. I've only got 2 of the 3 main viewing monitors working right now, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the Mech's main computer program, which is currently showing joystick calibration, which we don't need to do. We'll just tab out and take a look at the shell. You can see there's watch the variable labeled 1.00 as I turn this thingamajig here. You can see it goes down and it goes up. The other values are copying it because that is what is known as a floating pin. That's just because there's nothing actually connected to all those other channels, so it's picking up any electrical interference that it can. Now, you're probably wondering how and why. Well, to answer the first one, how, I just gutted a servo and just left the potentiometer inside. So now it is a volume knob in a nice, fun little case. Now, you're probably also wondering why the Mech would need so many volume knobs. I can take these volume knobs, stick them in all the Mech's limbs. That way the Mech knows what position the Mech limb is in. That is important for things such as moving the Mech's legs precisely, because I do eventually want to get her walking. And also just the basic concept of not moving the limb beyond what it is physically capable of. Because if that happens, especially with these heavy-duty 2,000-pound winch motors, you can get things like the frame bending and also too much power being drawn through, which theoretically should be handled by things like fuses, but if it doesn't, that can then cause things like fires, and that is not good. Now, for positioning of the Mech's limbs, that's good also again for walking. And I could also do pre-animated movements of the Mech and have it move sort of like a video game character. So I make a animation program, have it run a program, and that would be pretty neat. And also just a basic concept of, I could just stick these 2 joysticks out in front of the Mech and people could try moving the limbs around for themselves, and I wouldn't need to be worried too much about them, moving the limbs beyond what it is capable, because the Mech knows what it can and can't do. So that allows for a bit more of a public use of Marduk. The thing is, I don't think Marduk will ever be ready for people to actually hop in and try out because, well, some of her parts date all the way back to 2017. But Marduk is good for trying out all the systems, seeing how they work, for building Mech 2.0, which will be, for public use. And Mech 2.0 is going to be to Marduk what Spud is to Carrie. I'll probably throw up the pictures of them right here. So there's going to be a massive difference between good old primitive Marduk and Mech 2.0. But still, that means I still gotta finish Marduk, which is looking more and more like a possibility. And I suppose that is all for today. Another video, I'll be actually going into the system that I use to do all this hoo-ha. Now, I was originally just going to be using modified servo boards to control the Mech's limbs. However, that doesn't provide feedback. With a servo, you can only send data out. And in order to handle errors, you have to know what the actual real position is, which is what this system allows you to do, which I call Mechduino, which will be a video in the future. So if you do enjoy my content, be sure to like and subscribe, share it with others, and if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Take care.